Shalom, shalom, shalom. It's your brother Ahaziah, and I'm coming back with another short video, Lord willing. And it's called Keep Thy Mind at All Costs. Right? Are we keeping our mind on the Most High at all costs? Are we keeping our mind on the world and the philosophies and the doctrines of man? Right? But first and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawahshi. I want to give a shalom to every single brother and sister in the body, ministry, and those who are newly coming into this truth. Shalom, shalom. Right? And so you see the title, Keep Thy Mind at All Costs. So we have to keep our mind and our focus on these laws, statutes, commandments, and the faith of the Most High God and His Son. And the only way we do that is by staying in the scriptures, right? So first thing we do have to understand is that our mind is deceitful and desperately wicked. You know how you might have certain individuals in Christianity, you might say, God knows my heart. God knows me. Oh, I can do this. God knows my heart. He know I won't do that. Well, the Most High God does know your heart. And He tells us that it's wicked. Right? So let's get this in Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 9. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? So through Jeremiah, the Most High God is communicating that our heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked, meaning you don't even know your own mind. That's how deceitful and wicked it is. You can tell, you can have Satan whisper in your ear. You can do it this one time. You can go lie to your brother. You can go commit usury on your brother. You can go kill your brother. It'll be all right. Most of the time, you'll be all right. Don't worry about it. You can go steal. You can go commit adultery. You can go fornicate and be a whoremonger. It's all right. Don't worry about it. No, you gotta know that's Satan. You gotta tell Satan, get thee behind me. Right? I'll read it over. This is Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 9. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? So just laying that down, that we have to know that our mind is evil and wicked. It's going to tell us everything contrary to what our spirit wants to do. So from there, I go to Proverbs chapter 3. We're charged to do something as well, and that's to not lean on our own understanding. All right, this is Proverbs chapter 3, and I start at verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. You see, there's two things to notice within the scripture. It says to trust in the Lord with thy mind, and to not lean on your own understanding. Going back to Jeremiah, how it's your own understanding is, your own mind is desperately wicked and deceitful. Verse 6, in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. I mean, if you trust in the Most High with all your mind, He's going to establish your mind and direct you in a way that you should go. Verse 7, be not wise in thine own eyes. Because you can do something when no one's around and think you're being wise. You can give someone counsel on your own. You can move in a manner that makes it seem as if you're being wise, but you're actually not. Right? Fear the Lord and depart from evil. Right? Let's go to Proverbs 16. Just to hone in on how we might think we're doing something righteous. You might think we're doing something that's pleasing in the Most High God's eyes, but it could possibly not be if you're not examining yourself and moving in the Spirit. This is Proverbs chapter 16, verse 25. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man. Because you might see it as being right. Like, oh, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not committing sin. I'm not doing something that's going to kill my brother, set my brother up. But ultimately, it can lead to that, right? Let's read it over. Proverbs 16 and 25. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. You might be setting yourself up through your actions to get yourself destroyed and overthrown. Go to Ecclesiastes chapter 37 and verse 14. So your mind might tell you 7 different things, and so you're moving in 7 different directions and being unstable. So ultimately leading you to confusion, which could get you jammed up. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 37 and verse 14. For a man's mind is sometime wont to tell him more than 7 watchmen that sit above in a high tower. Right, I'll read that over. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 37 verse 14. For a man's mind is sometimes wont to tell him more than 7 watchmen that sit above in a high tower. You might have one thought telling you this, or another thought telling you this, another thought telling you that, another thought telling you this, and all different thoughts that's brewing up in your mind to cause confusion. All right, so let's go to Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23. Keep thy heart with all diligence. And so your heart is symbolic for your mind, as you can read about in Mark chapter 7, 21 to 24, I believe. Might be mistaken. But you want to keep your mind with all diligence. Keep your mind and focus on the scriptures and the things that pertain to keeping your spirit upright. I read, for out of it are the issues of life. Yeah, because you have doubt, you have anger, wrath, envy, you have jealousy, you have covetousness. All of these thoughts can brew up in your mind if you're not diligent and prudent and keeping them focused and rooted in the scriptures. All right, from there, I'll go to Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9. I'll start at verse 14. For the thoughts of mortal men are miserable, and our devices are but uncertain. Yeah, because as you read in Proverbs chapter 16 verse 25, a man might seem like he's doing right in his own ways, paraphrasing greatly. How those ways that he's moving in might be uncertain and lead to confusion and double-mindedness. Verse 15, for the corruptible body presseth down the soul, and the earthly tabernacle weigheth down the mind that museth upon many things. Because we all have these thoughts. How many times we have these thoughts within the day? How many times certain thoughts might pop in our mind? It can be wicked, it can be righteous, but nonetheless, there's still thoughts that come through our mind throughout the day. And so our mind muses upon many things. You might see a bird, start thinking about animals. You might see the rivers or waters, might start thinking about oceans. See a car, start thinking about cars, and etc. and etc. So the mind is easily able to just go off track and follow and focus on things that are not fruitful. Right? Verse 16. And hardly do we guess aright at the things that are upon earth, and with labor do we find the things that are before us, but the things that are in heaven, who hath searched out? Right? So we hardly guess aright because of these wicked and vain thoughts. These thoughts that have us go aside, these thoughts that have us go off, sin, deliberately make up these excuses as to why we sin, and so forth and so on. Right? So we have to make sure that we are keeping our minds focused on what's important. And so let's go to 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. That every one of you should know how to possess his vessel in sanctification and honor. So no one knows you more than you. No one knows how many times a day you do a certain habit, how many times a day you eat in a certain amount of times, how many times a day you might go for a walk, do a workout. You might do this, that, and the third. Only you know you better than you. You're the only person that really knows you. Obviously, besides the Most High, who sees everything. Speaking carnally as a man, however, that you are with you, for lack of better terms, all day. You know what habits you need to break. You know what things you need to tighten up on. You know what certain um, tendencies you have. So you should know what things to cut out, what things you need to improve upon, what things you need to add, so forth and so on. So you should know how to possess your vessel, possess his vessel, but you get the point. All right. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 25. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things, because you're all striving in this for the mastery. What is the mastery? The kingdom, rulership, dominion, ruling over our oppressors, having dominion, being at peace, having a true rest with our brothers and sisters in the kingdom, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the true Israelites according to the Bible. That's what we're striving for. So in striving, we should know how to be temperate, how to have self-control, discipline, how to diligently seek the Most High with his scriptures and praying and etc. Right? Verse, I read on. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown. Because you have people in the world, they go for vain titles. I use WWE for example. They do all these theatrics for a corruptible belt. They do all these workouts. Let's say for basketball, NBA, for a corruptible vain ring, for Super Bowl, I guess. Whatever comes with that, they're all corruptible and vain, right? Because they're not things that are profitable in the spirit. We know, but we are incorruptible. I therefore shall run, not as uncertainly. So fight I, not as one that beateth the air. He's not just swinging, just missing all types of shots. Nor is he just running just to run. There's a mission, there's a goal, there's an ambition behind why he's running and why he's fighting. It's not just following the wind, being tossed to and fro. I read on to verse 27. But I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself shall be a castaway. And that's dangerous and terrifying when you think about it. Here you are going on the highways and hedges. Here you are prophesying in the name of the Most High God. Here you are doing all these things to build up the body and ministry. And then it comes to find out that you're not doing anything that you're commanding others to do, that you're trying to show others to do. And you don't want to be like that. You don't want to be that castaway, that person who is doing nothing that they was telling others to do. Right? So you have to keep your body and bringing it to subjection. Right? And so what are you bringing it into subjection to? The obedience of Mashiach Yahawahshi. 2 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 5. Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of God. And I want to highlight how it says every high thing, because a high thing could be your thoughts. And a high thing can tell you to try to get you to go off, convince you that this one time you do that one sin, it will not be that bad. When it's nothing but deception and lies. For one sin, thou shalt not be unpunished. Right? And so that can be a thought. That can be multiple thoughts exalting itself against the knowledge of the Most High. How the Most High tells you that you're not supposed to break the Sabbath, and you have thoughts coming in your mind like, oh, you can buy on this day, you'll be all right. Just get this one little item, get this one little snack, get this one little game, you'll be okay. But you have to acknowledge it's like we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, right? And you have to bring that thought into subjection, right? Reading on. And bringing it into captivity. Every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach. So you want to bring every thought, every single idea that conjures up within your mind that exalted itself against the knowledge of the Most High via His scriptures. You want to bring that into captivity to the obedience of Hamashiach. Because He's our example. He's the one that we have to follow. He overcame the world to show us that we can as well if we put our trust in Him and have faith in the Most High God and His Son. All right, so let's go to 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 13. Wherefore, gird up the loins of your mind, be sober, and hope to the end. And hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Yahawahshi HaMashiach. So you want to gird up your minds to focus on the scripture. You want to gird up your mind to look at the accounts. Look at how forefathers moved. Look at how forefathers went to the scriptures, how forefathers trusted in the Most High, and be sober. Allow those accounts and these scriptures to settle within your mind and search them diligently and daily, right? Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 6 and verse 37. So this is a solution to keep your mind, solution to keeping our mind at all costs. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 6 and verse 37. Let thy mind be upon the ordinances of the Lord, and meditate continually in His commandments. So you want to be meditating in the law, going back to the milk. You want to establish yourself with that foundation and make sure you're meditating daily. And it's not with your legs crossed, with your hands in a weird position. No, it's thinking upon something deeply. So you want to be thinking about these commandments continually, right? And this is what's going to happen once you continually meditate on these scriptures, Salakia. But this is Rena. He shall establish thy mind and give thee wisdom at thine own desire. So once you, Salakia, he's going to give you, the Most High God is going to give you that wisdom at your own desire if you continually meditate and you continually apply the commandments, right? So I want to get a quick scripture on that. We go to Psalms. This is Psalms chapter 111 and verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever. So if you want to have that wisdom that the Most High God is going to give you at your own desire, you have to meditate continually in the commandments and do them. You have to do his commandments. That's a part of meditating within the scriptures and understanding, okay, Most High God says, thou shalt not do this, I will not do this, no matter what, to the best of my ability. Okay, the Most High God says, thou shalt not do this, I will not do it. The Most High God says, thou shalt, and that's something he commands us to do, and it must be done. All right, so let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 39 and verse 1. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 39 and verse 1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecy. So if you give your mind over to the Most High, and you are occupied in the meditation of it, so meditating in the commandments, right? You're not only going to receive that wisdom, but you're going to seek out the wisdom of our forefathers. You're going to be occupied in a prophecy and what's to come. Because there's still things that are going to unfold on this planet, but it's earth that is prophesied and the Most High God speaks through his prophets. Right, so we want to make sure that we are keeping our focus on the scriptures, prophecy, as we see prophecy coming to pass daily, see judgment coming to pass daily. So we want to keep our mind on the things above and not below. So I'll get this closing scripture just to keep things short. Lord willing, scriptures may have been edifying. I just want to charge brothers and sisters to keep their heart with all diligence. We see that we're at the end of this thing. We see that all hell is about to break loose. Ultimately, our salvation is nearer than we believe. Right? So this is 1 Corinthians chapter 15. I started, just jump to 58. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. For as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain. So we have to understand that our labor is not in vain in this truth. Going out to the highways and hedges, uploading the videos, praying, fasting, repenting, studying, doing all that we can to magnify the name of the Most High God. It is not in vain. But we have to believe that it's not in vain and continue to strive for this truth. So with that in mind, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahawah, bahasham Yahawahshi. And Lord willing, at least one scripture may be gained and at least one brother or sister may have been edified. But shalom to all the brothers and sisters who are in this thing. Continue to endure, continue to remain steadfast. I give a mighty heart. Shalom.